Hello friends, welcome in this video session of refrigeration and conditioning subject. We will start unit number 5, air conditioning process calculations. My name is Mr. S.V. Kumbhar, Assistant Professor, Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Yadra, Ichalkaranchi. So first we will see what is the meaning of cooling load. Cooling load is the thermal energy that must be removed from the space in order to maintain the desired comfort air conditioning. So generally, air conditioning is the science of producing and maintaining the temperature below than that of atmospheric temperature. The main purpose of air conditioning is to maintain relative humidity, its purity, its dry bulb temperature, and if we want to add some fragrance, we can add fragrance also. So heating, ventilation and air conditioning system are generally used to maintain thermal conditions in comfort range. Generally we use vapor compression refrigeration system in both refrigeration as well as air conditioning. The purpose of load estimate. Generally, air conditioning system is designed for theater, domestic purpose, auditorium by considering different parameters. So first important parameter is load profile over a day. Generally, load does not remain constant. Even if you consider at home, load vary as the time changes. For example, during morning the load is different because the occupants are more. In afternoon load is small. Again after 5 p.m. load increases as the number of occupant increases as well as the number of electronic equipments are in running condition. Second important purpose of load estimate is the peak load. As I told you earlier, in peak load condition, that is from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. the load increases. Now here it is duty of heating, ventilation and air conditioning engineer to design that air conditioning by considering peak load, operation energy analysis, which type of energy transfer takes place there, either latent energy or sensible heat energy, HVAC construction cost, that is cost of construction while building air conditioning. So principle of cooling load estimate. So generally we have to consider heat transfer characteristics of a building, room, office, theater, auditorium, etc. So first mode of heat transfer is conduction. Generally, heat is transferred from one part to another part without appreciable movement of molecule. For example, if you consider a wall, heat transferred through a wall, outside surface of either room or office is exposed to solar radiation, and heat is transferred from outer region to inner region by the mode of conduction through plain wall or slab. That mode we have to consider. Second, convection. As all the electronic equipments are on, so heat is convected inside room. So that heat must be considered while designing air conditioning, and that heat has to be considered in a cooling load estimate. Radiation. Radiation, which is the most important heat transfer characteristic. If you consider a glass which is provided to either room or office, solar radiation directly enters inside that room and heat is transferred by the mode of radiation. Again, this load has to be considered while estimating the cooling load. Design condition, outdoor and indoor. So outdoor conditions are dependent on weather condition. Generally in summer season, outdoor conditions are hot and humid. If you consider winter season, outdoor conditions are cold. Indoor conditions are dependent on number of equipments in either office or in a room, number of occupants in a room, and infiltration losses. Third important part is heat gain. So generally heat energy is transferred to room air by many ways. There are many equipments which are installed in a room. So heat is generally gained when those equipments are in continuously use. So in that heat gain, first part is internal. So in internal part we consider all the electronic devices, that is bulbs, tube lights, mobile charger, or you can consider heat extracted from human. And external heat gain factors are related to outdoor condition, and generally we consider solar because sun is the responsible for heat gain inside room. Thermal capacity. Generally thermal capacity is calculated by mass flow rate into its calorific value mc, and thermal capacity has to be considered while estimating cooling load. Next point is space characteristics. In space characteristics, orientation of that particular room, auditorium, or any space which is to be air conditioning has to be considered orientation, because generally the direction of wind plays very important role while cooling purpose of that room or building. Second important part, that is size and shape. Size and shape are also dependent while designing air conditioning system, because if the size is too large and shape is rectangle, so when air flows over that building, then there is a chances of heat, that is air losses by turbulence at many regions. Construction and material. Building structure consists of generally cement concrete RCC. If it is a RCC structure, then again the typical load is changed. If it is made up of clay, then again its air conditioning load is different. Windows, door, opening. So type of window, type of door, and in number of openings and number of closing also matters while designing load. Surrounding conditions, whether surrounding condition is hot and humid or somewhat different, it will affect on cooling load. Ceiling. Now if you use plaster of Paris on ceiling, then generally it acts as insulator. If you don't provide POP, then heat will be transferred directly from ceiling to room air. That load has to be considered. As I told you, occupants, number of occupants in a per hour or in a day, activity done by that occupant, and duration. Appliances, that is how many electrical appliances are fitted inside that room, that has to be considered. Power and usage, that has to be considered. For example, if you have laptop, if you have PCs, if you have any other electrical appliances which generates heat energy like iron or heater, so that has to be considered. And its usage, air leakage, that is infiltration or exfiltration, lighting which is fitted inside room in watt per meter square. So heating and cooling load. In order to estimate the air conditioning load, both heating and cooling load has to be considered, and following factors are considered, that is building size and shape and orientation, material of construction, glass areas, number of occupants, ventilation provided to that room, motors, light and electronic appliances, water, gas and electrical services, equipment location, where that equipment is placed inside that room, infiltration losses, means when you open and close door there are infiltration losses, location of doors and windows, it will directly affect on heating and cooling load. So first we will see sensible heat load. When there is a direct addition of heat to the enclosed space, a gain in the sensible heat is said to occur. This sensible heat is to be removed during the process of summer air conditioning. This heat gain may occur due to any one or all the following sources of heat transfer. So first one, the heat flowing into the building by conduction through exterior wall, floor, ceiling, door and windows due to the temperature difference on their two sides. As I said in earlier slide, as we receive heat energy from sun, so that heat is transferred through wall, ceiling, doors and windows because of temperature difference between outside and inside room condition by the mode of conduction. Heat received from solar radiation directly, and it consists of heat transmitted directly through glass of windows, ventilators or doors, and the heat is absorbed by the wall and roof exposed to solar radiation and later on transferred to room by the mode of conduction. Third important parameter, that is the heat conducted through interior partition from room in the same building which are not conditioned. So if you consider a room which is conditioned, now sometimes the heat is transferred from a room which is not conditioned from the same building or from the same house. That heat has to be considered. Fourth important parameter, the heat given off by the light, motors, machineries, cooking operations, industrial processes, etc. Fifth one, the heat liberated by the occupant. Generally, human body temperature is regulated by metabolism rate. So metabolic rate is different for different occupant. Next important, that is the heat carried away by outside air which leaks through the cracks in windows, door and through their frequent opening. Whenever opening and closing of windows and door is done, so heat loss takes place from that leakage, that is known as infiltration losses. The heat gain through the wall of ducts carrying air through unconditioned space in the building. The heat gain by the fan work. Latent heat gain, when there is an addition of water vapor to the air of enclosed space, a gain in latent heat is said to occur. This latent heat is to be removed during the process of summer air conditioning. This heat gain may occur due to any one or all of the following of heat transfer. The heat gain due to moisture in the outside air entering by infiltration. Whenever you open door or window, so heat gain takes place because of moisture of outside air. Second, the heat gain due to condensation of moisture from occupant. Now, as I said earlier, the human body temperature regulation takes place by metabolic rate, and generally moisture is liberated to atmosphere or room air and it may get condensed. This load has to be considered. Third one, the heat gain due to condensation of moisture from any process such as cooking food, which takes place in kitchen, and that has to be considered within conditioned space if it is coming under that conditioned space. Fourth important parameter, the heat gain due to moisture passing directly into conditioned space through permeable wall and partition of outside or from adjoining region where the water vapor pressure is higher. So total heat load will be equal to sensible heat gain plus latent heat gain, and room total heat load, that is RTH, which is equal to room sensible heat load plus room latent heat load, and the ratio of room sensible heat to room total heat is known as room sensible heat factor. Bypass air. All the air passing over the cooling coil cannot come in contact with fin or tubes of the coil due to the gap between fins and tube. It comes out of the cooling coil at the same condition at which it entered, and so it is termed as bypass air. The sensible and latent heats in this bypass air needs to be removed, so it is a part of room load. Bypass factor, it is the ratio of quantity of bypass air to that of total air passing through coil. If you consider a cooling coil, so bypass factor is defined as the ratio of quantity of air which is bypassed to the total air passing over cooling coil. And there are few terms which are related to this, that is effective room sensible heat, effective room latent heat, effective room total heat. So first one, SHF, where SHF is nothing but sensible heat factor. Sensible heat factor is the ratio of sensible heat of a room to total heat of a room, and total heat of a room consists of sensible heat and latent heat. So sensible heat factor is the ratio of SH upon TH, where SH is sensible heat and LH is latent heat, TH is the total heat. RSHF, that is room sensible heat factor. So room sensible heat factor is the ratio of room sensible heat to room total heat, and room total heat is the summation of room sensible heat plus room latent heat. Third important part, effective room sensible heat factor. So effective room sensible heat factor is the ratio of ERSH, means effective room sensible heat, to effective room total heat, and effective room total heat is the summation of effective room sensible heat plus effective room latent heat. Effective room total load, it determines the quantity and temperature humidity condition of supply air. Grand total heat load, which determines the capacity of refrigeration plant. Apparatus dew point is the effective surface temperature of the cooling coil which determines the condition of air coming out of the coil. In order to find the air quantity required and select the equipment, ERSH, BF and ADP, that is apparatus dew point, are required. Effective room sensible heat gain is calculated by solar gain through glass, that is heat gain is equal to A into R into MF, where A is equal to area of glass in square meter per square feet, R is equal to solar gain in kilocalorie per hour per square meter, MF is the multiplying factor for the type of glass, shading, etc. Solar transmission gain through the wall and roof. Generally, this heat gain is calculated by U, that is transmission coefficient, multiplied by area multiplied by EQTD, where EQTD is corrected equivalent temperature difference in degree centigrade. Transmission gain through the wall and partition. Generally, solar gain through the glass, there is a heat gain by transmission through the glass because of temperature difference between surrounding and conditioned space, and this heat gain is calculated by U into A into TD, where A is equal to area of glass per partition in square meter, U is the transmission coefficient for glass per partition, TD is temperature difference between surrounding and conditioned space. Heat gain through infiltration. Generally, whenever doors and windows are open and closed, this heat gain takes place through infiltration. Second, bypass, that is fresh air, and here the design table gives the infiltration air quantity for various types of doors and windows. For that purpose, we have to observe cracks and infiltration due to the opening of door. The room load due to the bypassed fresh air is calculated by 1.08 CFM into BF into TD. Internal heat gain. Generally, people has to consider and multiply the sensible heat per person by the number of person to get the sensible heat gain due to occupancy. Second, lights, that is fluorescent light, which is equal to total watt of fluorescent light multiplied by 1.25 multiplied by 0.86, which gives us the internal heat gain. Third, fan horsepower in the draw through arrangement, which is equal to HP into 641 kilocalorie per hour or HP into 2545 British tons unit per hour. So in this video lecture we conclude. Thank you very much.